Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of The Daily for Tuesday, August 9th. Alongside Greg Lalas, I'm Ryan Krasnoo. We're going to get started out in Philadelphia, where newly appointed U.S. men's national team head coach Jurgen Klinsmann had his first practice with his new set of guys yesterday at the University of Pennsylvania. And Greg, he came out saying it was a wonderful start, but there was still things he needed to work on, and they're going to take it one step at a time.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I think is that he's going to look at these 22 players. He's already said he's going to be talking to them a lot, because basically what he wants to do is let the pool of players that he has define the style that they're going to play. He did mention to Sports Illustrated's Grant Wall that he'd like to increase the pool of attacking-minded players, guys who can create and finish in the box. So that's obviously something that's important going forward. Remember, no Josie Altidore or Clint Dempsey in this group, but he did bring some of the guys up from Mexico. Jose Francisco Torres, a creative midfielder in there who can do some stuff. Freddie Adu. He's obviously looking for some more attacking, creative players.
And another guy from Mexico who got a surprise call-up was Michael Orozco Fiscal, the San Luis player who was the former Union fullback who played with them last year. You can catch that game at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2, and there's also a pregame show at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN News. Greg, heading from Philadelphia up north to Montreal, where the Impact are set to make their head coaching announcement on Wednesday for 2012. It was reported that Colorado Rapids technical director Paul Bravo was originally up for the job, Greg, but they seemed to squash those rumors.
Yeah, the club came out yesterday, Ryan, and said that there had been no contact between the Impact and Bravo. Now, Bravo's not the only MLS name that's being thrown around for this one. Technical director for the Columbus Crew, Brian Bliss, also has been rumored for this job, as has former FC Dallas coach Colin Clark, who is right now the head coach for the Puerto Rico Islanders. But the front runner, according to most reports right now, is Jesse Marsch, the former Chivas USA and Chicago Fire player. Most recently, he's been an assistant coach for Bob Bradley with the U.S. national team. Obviously, he doesn't have that position anymore, so he's open for the new job, and it looks like the Impact might be where he's headed.
And the Impact aren't the only Canadian team in MLS making moves as far as a head coach is concerned. Going out to Western Canada, the Vancouver Whitecaps, Greg, are set to make their announcement for their 2012 head coach today at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Any ideas?
Well, Ryan, the reports out of Vancouver right now, the province up in Vancouver, reporting that it will be Martin Rennie, who's right now the head coach for the Carolina Railhawks in the second division. It's an interesting take because he's a young coach. He's had some decent success, but more interestingly, it's all about what happens with Tommy Sohn, who's right now the head coach. When Taylor Torkelson was fired about 2 months ago and Sohn took over, Sohn was not named as an interim head coach. He was named as the head coach with a contract through the end of the year, and then they would assess what happens. Well, obviously they've decided that it's not going to work with him as head coach. It looks like he's going to be bumped back up to the front office, and Rennie will take over on the field. So Vancouver not showing a lot of patience right now in terms of their managing position. They want to get some victories, obviously. They want to do something. Now, Rennie will take over for 2012, and obviously it looks like Sohn will bump back up into the management.
And Greg, that announcement comes out at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you log on to MLSsoccer.com for that latest news. Also on MLSsoccer.com is the latest version of Extra Time Radio that came out yesterday. And Greg, we had Edson Buttle and Tony Meola on yesterday talking about the U.S. national team.
Yeah, and Edson Buttle had just come off the training field actually after his first session with Jurgen Klinsmann. He talked about how Klinsmann just sort of let them play. He just watched. Didn't do much talking, so already a little bit of a different feel going on with the national team. He also talked a little bit about his new car, which has yet to be delivered. This is the second time we've talked to Buttle about his custom-made Audi that he got as a player for Ingolstadt. And Tony Meola talked about the goalkeepers, mainly Bill Hamid, and what it means for Bill Hamid to be in this camp as a surprise call-up and playing underneath Tim Howard.
And remember, you can get Extra Time Radio on iTunes and Buzzsprout. And for all the latest news, stories, and headlines, make sure you log on to MLSsoccer.com.